Alright guys, if y'all are new to the channel, real quick, let me tell y'all what we do. Let me tell y'all what we talk about, and that is Dynasty Fantasy Football. This is strictly a Dynasty Fantasy Football channel. Obviously, the player you clicked on, whatever team he went to, is definitely going to be discussed and how it affects that NFL team and the supporting cast around it. But our main focus is on Dynasty Fantasy Football. If you don't know what that is, just fantasy football year round. You draft one team, you always have that team throughout the entire offseason. You're making trades, you're going through, you're actually drafting rookies like your real NFL team, and it's a lot of fun. If you have never played in a Dynasty League before and are interested in joining one, we have new leagues starting every single week. Go down the description of the video, join the Discord, and that's where you're going to get all the info for that. And if you are already playing Dynasty Fantasy Football, you are at the perfect place. Make sure you go down there and subscribe. This is going to be the channel for you, but let's get into the video.
That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Alright guys, and y'all know if y'all been watching for the channel, I've been pushing this very hard lately just because I get y'all 2 videos a day, but it's more important now than ever. I need y'all to make sure you go down and like this video. I'm going to be putting out 4 to 5 videos a day, so I promise you, I sent that screenshot earlier with what happens in the YouTube algorithm. If I upload more than 1 video a day and y'all don't leave a like, pretty much it just kills the channel. So it's now more important than ever. Make sure you go down right now and leave a like on this video. Alright guys, this video we are going to continue to talk about all these running backs landing in smash spots. Really love the trend here, and honestly, it saved the day. And day one, we all really felt down just because our favorite wide receivers landed in horrible situations like CeeDee Lamb in Dallas, behind Amari Cooper, competing with Michael Gallup. Yes, I already made that CeeDee Lamb video. I do believe that CeeDee Lamb is better than Michael Gallup and is going to beat him out, but still, same thing with Jerry Jeudy in Denver competing with Courtland Sutton. So we needed this. We needed these running backs to come in and land in these prime running back spots, which we saw from every running back besides DeAndre Swift. Tomorrow's video will be, tomorrow I'm going to put out probably 4 or 5 videos, just like I have for the past couple days. All I'm doing is making videos nonstop for y'all, trying to get y'all as much information as possible to get us prepared for rookie drafts. And let's focus in on Cam Akers this video. Let's talk about the running back where I saw this landing spot at first, and not going to lie, I didn't really think that it was fantastic, but after talking to Point God for a little bit, he was telling me where he thought that Cam Akers lined up in this class, and I was thinking, maybe I need to look into the situation a little bit more. Maybe I was a little too quick to dismiss Cam Akers. And the reason I was quick to dismiss Cam Akers is we all know he was my RB5 pre-draft. I had him behind pretty much all the other 4 running backs. And I know it was kind of consensus to have Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 4 and Cam Akers. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 5 and Cam Akers at 4, but I had them switched. And I was a little bit lower on Cam Akers than most people just because I was worried that he wasn't going to get the draft capital. I didn't think that a team was going to be willing to push the button on him in the second round due to his lack of production in college. But here we are, and I need to completely throw away that really just wrongful bias that I have in my mind and try to look at this from an objective standpoint to evaluate this situation and the player. Because Cam Akers, I said before in our pre-draft ranking video, he possibly has the highest upside out of any running back in this entire class, regardless of situation. I mean, he is an extremely talented running back, and he has the prototype. I was just worried he was going to find himself in a bad situation. So now that we have a situation, I don't need to be worried about that anymore. We're just going to objectively view Cam Akers and him sliding into this Los Angeles Rams offense. Now, Cam Akers, we all know the story. I've said it on the channel multiple times before, but if you haven't already heard it, he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, actually at the very top of his high school recruiting class. And I've mentioned this multiple times before, but I've done a research project for my biostatistics class last semester, kind of evaluating how high school recruit rank transitions to NFL success for running backs and wide receivers. Essentially, I found that running backs have a strong correlation between their high school recruit rank and their NFL success. I mean, it's actually quite surprising, whereas wide receivers have essentially no correlation whatsoever. And Cam Akers checks that one box, and I know nobody really talks about this, but I love to look at this small little thing to try to get a profile of what the natural talent of the player is. And in high school, Cam Akers was actually more of a wildcat quarterback than he was a running back. So him transitioning to Florida State, he was a little bit raw. He was just a extremely talented football player, an extremely talented athlete, but he didn't necessarily have a spot in this offense, and he was going to have to transition to the running back position, even though he's been listed as a running back his entire career. Now, at Florida State, he pretty much finds himself in the worst possible situation to make this transition to develop as a running back and become more refined. He finds himself behind one of the league's worst offenses and the worst offensive line in the entire nation. I know we had Jacks on, Jacks off on here a while ago talking about some rookie running backs, and he brought up the fact that Cam Akers ran behind like the 109th ranked offensive line. I don't know if that's I'm pulling that number out of my butt, but at the same time, something around that. He was literally running behind just third string offensive linemen, 3-star, 2-star recruits. Florida State was not able to get any talent at that position throughout Cam Akers' entire career there. Yet we still see him in 2017 put up 194 attempts, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and the most important part of this running back is his receiving ability. He was able to put up 16 receptions in 2017. In 2018, he slides down 161 attempts, 706 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 23 receptions. 2018, in my opinion, was definitely the worst version of this Florida State offense that we got to see in Cam Akers' tenure there. 2019, we saw him actually really step it up. In 2018, he really took a hard hit in Devy value and in a lot of draft boards. But 2019, he rebounded just a little bit, put up almost 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, 30 receptions. Now, let me focus in on these reception totals. So we see him have 16 receptions right off the bat as a true freshman in this offense. And not only is he catching the ball, but he's doing so particularly well. He's not catching it in his body, and he's catching it in stride where he can make defenders miss afterwards. He already is moving forward with the ball once it's in his hands, and that's exactly what you like to see. Catching the ball is Cam Akers' skill. I mean, it's not just something he can do, but he thrives with it. And that's one of the most important boxes you can check as a dynasty running back, especially in today's NFL. And now that we know that he has the pass-catching ability, what we have to try to do is try to evaluate him in a box. We have to try to decide if he's a 3-down running back, if he's a situational player, or really if he can handle an entire workload throughout the entire NFL season. Now, if we look at his BMI, which I love to use BMI when evaluating these running backs, I want to try to get the traits that they have. I want to look at their athleticism, and I want to see what size they are. I know a lot of people just strictly look on weight, but I've said multiple times before, I don't think that tells the whole story. I want to look at their BMI, and he's 71st percentile in BMI, and we see a lot of running backs at this size actually they're able to handle a full workload just like he did in college. And not only was he above average in his size, but he also ran a 4.47 40-yard dash, which puts him near the 90th percentile for this metric. So he has the size, he has the athleticism, and he has the pass-catching ability. So really at the running back position, I know a lot of people love to grind the tape. They love to see what these running backs can do between the tackles, if they can make defenders miss in the box. But I'm telling you right now, if you spend too much time watching that, if you don't really just zoom out, look at the big picture, you're going to end up drafting a lot of David Montgomery. You're going to end up drafting a lot of Zach Moss this year. Yes, it's fun to watch these guys make defenders miss in the box, and it's fun to see them pick up an extra yard or two here and there. And that's really good for an NFL team trying to get to a first down. But for our fantasy teams, I'm more focused on these running backs being able to handle a workload that is above average and for them to be able to catch the ball. That's where their fantasy points are going to come from. Catching the ball, handling a large workload, and explosive plays. I don't care that David Montgomery is going to pick up an extra yard or two here if he's not going to ever rush the ball for farther than 20 yards. We're trying to avoid those players, and we're trying to identify these guys that have a 3-down profile that can catch the ball and have athleticism. That's exactly what Cam Akers is. He checks every single one of those boxes we want to see, and really this is why he is a running back that should be near the top of your rookie rankings. The one concern I have with him is how much are the Los Angeles Rams going to be using Darryl Henderson in 2020 and beyond. Now, Darryl Henderson, I know a lot of people are completely off of him after his really dismal performance in 2019. Really, he could not get on the field, and he was outsnapped by both Malcolm Brown and Todd Gurley. But we see the departure of Todd Gurley, and I thought this was Darryl Henderson's chance. Yet, We see them come in and actually invest more into Cam Akers than they did with Darryl Henderson last year. So this tells me that they are almost completely off of Henderson. And I think that he is going to have a small role in this offense, but it's mainly going to be the Cam Akers show, which puts Cam Akers up in that top tier of running backs. I don't think he's at the very elite tier with the J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jonathan Taylor. But after those three, I think he's right there with DeAndre Swift. I believe DeAndre Swift's the more talented running back. But this is fantasy football. As I say all the time, we're not drafting for our Madden teams. We're not an NFL GM. We are drafting for production. We are drafting for fantasy points. And I believe that Cam Akers checks every single box and is in a situation where you want to see that happen. So I'm going to be going out there, drafting Cam Akers confidently. I still believe I would rather have Cam Akers over any wide receiver in this rookie class. After this, I think I'm confident in saying, give me all 5 running backs over any wide receiver in this rookie class, and that's where I'm going to be happy. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Really hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, subscribe. If you already subscribed, make sure you go down next to the subscription button, press the little bell, turn on notifications. Then you will know exactly when I upload, exactly when I'll get y'all's next video. But thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.